Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Against the Storm, where today I think we are we becoming followers of the Forsaken Gods? Are we merely treating with such followers? In any case, I think we're gonna join in their ritual. It seems like these guys have the ticket. They know who's in charge, so we're just gonna watch and learn. So, win before year 8 ends, 10 dead villagers, and we'll get some mushrooms and some embarkation points. So this is a difficulty 19. We're going to learn what a fee for each discovered glade means. We are going to only have 4 embarkation points to use here, and we're probably rocking some harpies. I mean, I don't hate harpies. Harpies are fine. They're always a little scary. It's always a little scary to run harpies main because they do have such resolve problems. So I'm looking here at our 4 embarkation points. Technically, the largest number of people we can bring is the frog beaver split caravan, and while I do think frog and beaver are individually quite strong, I do not love how little overlap there is between the things that they want. It's really just the luxury need. I don't hate that, the luxury need, but like when you're trying to get, I guess like there's something to be said for the fact that frogs and beavers are both pretty hardy naturally. They don't easily go negative. Yeah, all right. You know what? Let's do the thing. So we're starting here with 14 people and also 2 more points. My inclination would be to grab, it's like planks or bricks or clay or raw wood plus something. It's just something to deal with the housing. I do kind of like the raw wood start. Honestly, this is a lot of wood. But obviously you have a lot of you'll have a lot of building that needs doing early on. I might just take the bricks. So 42 clay, 42 raw clay, or 14 bricks. I think the 42 clay it's going to be the same amount, right? Because it's like, I believe the base value is 6 clay per recipe fire, and the recipe makes 2 bricks. So that's 7 fires. So we may as well just take the finished product. And like, we're not 100% sure that we'll have access to clay or stone to make a lot more bricks early on, but we know we'll have access to wood, right? So we're gonna call this is the town that follows the blessed principle of, ooh, me too. I would like to do that. Sacrificing people to a big tentacle sounds great. Me too. I'm in. This is a Strider port. Okay, this is a coastal biome. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. They are sometimes a huge pain in the ass. Let's find out if this is one of those times. And we're working pretty hard to stay on track here. It is absolutely the case that a single failure could sink the whole cycle. Because if we end up losing and it takes a decent amount of time, we might end up so far behind our rate of shard gain that we might just be doomed. So it would be pretty bad to do that. Okay, here we go. Actual text. Taking advantage of the riches of this land will cost you. You must pay 2 amber every time you discover a small glade, 6 amber every time you discover a dangerous or forbidden glade. Otherwise, 2 villagers will be recalled to the citadel. And based on the way costs are levied for like the mysteries that require them, I'm going to assume it's going to be like you're given the fee and there's a little button up there to access it, and you have like 2 seasons to pay it off or something. So probably this is not so bad. Get clearance water for every drizzle. This is a terrible. This forest mystery sucks terribly. Creeping shadows. Do not open glades during the storm. Villagers working in mines get massive resolve penalty during the storm. There's horrors beneath the land. Gathering speed is decreased during the storm, and villagers that die instantly become blood flowers. Okay, so we have had this one cascade fail us in the past, but mostly that's not too bad. And honestly, overall, I think that's a very gentle set of penalties. So, do we have the stuff to send you out right away? We do not. We do, however, have a pond. And we do not have a source of stone immediately. Good to note. We definitely want to get fish going right away, I think. And by right away, of course, I mean after we get our first... after we get our first few woodcuts done. Now, we're starting with 10 amber. So that gives us really easy access to a large glade and 2 small glades if we want to just run it that way. I think that's an okay place to start. Put beavers on this job. So far, I've not had a terrible time with the double woodcutter start. Honestly, like maybe even if we're thinking about opening small glades, and I would like to open small glades for the purpose of getting the territory around this thing opened up, maybe what we actually do is we start by opening the small glades. We open these 2, and part of what I'm doing here is I'm hoping for like a treasure stag. I don't know if it matters terribly where this one opens. It's gonna be something like that. I don't know. Yeah, that'll breach. Okay, so you 2 avoid glades except we're told expressly to do otherwise. We'll put 3 people on this. We'll put 2 people on refining. Somebody's got to put all the numbers in the boxes, and then... yeah. Just use everything you got your hands on here. I'm not going to assign people specifically to that right away. That's not so critically important to get done right at the moment. And let's start with frog housing. So... so I'm going to put up the designs for the beaver houses. So let's see here. 1, 2... okay, those will go there. Then we go... we need 5 frog houses. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, something like this to start with. All right. Go to it, friends. Much to build. So we'll get a couple of those frog houses immediately. Reed field, dewberry bush, fertile soil. Interesting. Good to know about the fertile soil quickly. Uh, 10 amber every time a villager dies or leaves. Remember, we do have to kill 10 villagers at some point, so that's not as obviously like garbage as it often would be. I do think I'm going to take a reroll here. So I'm just looking for something that does something early. Lost in the Wilds is like fine. One more. I hate to be boring, but friendly relations, it's not always good, but it sure can be good. Okay, you get like 7 minutes. Go ahead and pay it now. I'm kind of waiting for the first orders to fire before we pop the second one. I maybe should have done it before the first one. Oh, just complete any one. Huh. Well, this is interesting. This is pretty random. Like, it's very hard to know if you're going to be able to get that done. Especially since this timer is faster than the timer on the events. So you would expect that to be like accompanied by a really interesting reward, but this might be one of the worst order rewards I've ever seen. Just like an okay perk and 5 parts. Like, we definitely are not taking that. Yeah, this complete 4 trade routes is very doable. That's really weird. That's like a really, really awful result. Reinforced saw blades is exciting, especially early on. Yeah, even though it's a little out of the way. 4 trade routes worth 6 amber each. Trade routes are 5% faster for every 10 packs of provisions in your warehouse. I think reconnaissance is probably the way to go here. The coat delivery line is very cool. Don't get me wrong. Actually, sorry, I probably want those specifically. And I would love to see that get opened before we do the large one. All right, now that this thing is finished, let's go ahead and tack 2 people onto it. Are we good? Frogs first. Clay node, thunderfish pond, and a rain punk drill. Well, I'm happy to see the clay node for sure. And why don't we just rip open one of these two, try to get myself as much hostility as possible before this before this first storm. Because what do I care? Winning? Never heard of her. I will say it'd probably be a good idea to put up a park over here when we have the wood as well. Okay, termites, a lot more fertile soil, the brickyard that we knew was coming, and thunderfish pond. This is the this is on one of the gathering buildings that is large by default. Okay, so what do we have to use to tame these guys? 5 insects per minute if you were willing to throw 9 parts at it right away. I think that's a thing to go for. It'll extend into the storm if we do it now. Right? Yeah. But it's really hard to want to wait. I think we got to go for it. And just deal with the extension into the storm. Fortunately, that's a small enough number of total goods that each one of them only has to run out to the thing once. It's not a multiple trips situation. And I think with that, I'm going to unequip all the people from this. Oh, sorry. Let me reattach you for a forced delivery. Let's send the stuff home. Okay. Because we have stuff to do. We got to get some more bricks together. So I'd love to get you two attached here. And then, yeah, like I say, building. Building also is happening. Alright, so right now we have no clay. We need 6... 9. So we only need 9 more bricks. Oh yeah, pay these. That's exactly all of our starting amber. Okay, you guys got started. 525. So there's going to be a 90-second overlap between the storm and this -5 resolve effect. I think that's probably not that big a deal. I think we can probably deal with it. We can probably survive that. So I actually think I'm going to construct our trading post down here. And let's go for a resource acquisition blueprint. Let's send this out early. We need people. We need hands. I'm gonna let this guy finish building that house, and then get him on this while they work on other things. While everybody else gets the materials ready for the rest of the houses. So that's 4 more bricks being made. Yeah, we're almost set on those. Let's make sure that we are cutting away all this stuff that's just kind of like in the way of the hearth, in the way of the building area. Okay, do we want to take on... Oh, geez. Where am I at on the materials for a lizard house? We have none of that stuff, but we should have unspent fabric. Lizards are an interesting addition. I think I'm going to bring on the lizards now. We'll get them proper housing quickly. You guys really zeroed out? I mean, I guess they have no housing bonus at all. Do I want to build a really fast temporary shelter? Now that we have a few more hands, the building's going to go faster, but I'm actually thinking maybe it makes sense to put another person on wood cutting here. Let's prioritize the lizard house. Run this stuff back. Come on, let's see that get built. Okay, good. That will certainly help. Alright, and they've already depleted one of the many fishing pools. May as well get this one going. Okay. This first storm's going to be a little bit messy. Like I said, I'm a little concerned. But the thing will be done when it's done. So when we fix this, we either rip this apart into metal bits or it turns into coal veins. I feel like sometimes you get these drills and they turn into geysers. I would much rather have had a geyser right now, I think. But it is what it is. You know, we got the one we got. So how bad are we looking at here? Pretty bad. It looks pretty bad, but keep in mind, we have the ability to pull one person back here to slow down the loss a little bit. Lizards and frogs both lose their both see their thing decrease at a lower speed than normal. The number creeps downward at a lower speed than normal. And over opening up all of those glades, we didn't see a single large node that we can't already deal with. So What are we looking at here? Well, obviously we overlap on brawling. We also overlap on luxury. Pickled goods. 2 of us have pickled goods. 2 of us have boots. It's pretty ugly. In any case, the luxury goods from the distillery are not super high value for us, is part of what I was looking at there. But it's always nice to have a place where you can build tools. I will say, it is a shame to see the place where you can build tools be a thing that comes up immediately, which is really, really not when you need it. The Crown Chronicles is kind of interesting. So it provides brawling, and we've already seen 1 ruin. It could be pretty decent, potentially. This doesn't count as a building, does it? No, it's just a glade event. Yeah, it's always hard to predict the amount of bonus resolve you're going to get out of the Crown Chronicles. But I don't necessarily think this is bad. I'll take it. All right, we're hoping to get good comebacks on our blueprints from the Strider, obviously. Speaking of which, okay, large foragers camp could be good, and okay, woodcutters carry additional items. That's kind of nice. Overall, I would call that one a success. And I would also say we should just send it back out immediately to get it into a state where it will bring us back another blueprint. All right, now we can cut. We have a little bit of wood. We can cut some. How long do we have on this? 45 seconds. So what we can do here is we can cut another couple woodcutters just temporarily. And also start sacrificing wood. We'll just let it just cheat our way down to 1, basically. I guess I'd better. Yeah, we can't do that for very long, but we also won't have to. Did we already burn all the wood? What? Yeah, we sure did. Jeez. Alright, well, we have 10 seconds until everybody's resolve goes up by 5. There we go. Okay, and not only does that secure us some food, but this is also all the harmony decorations that we will need for this thing to get to level 3. So I'm pretty pleased with pulling that off early. We can sell some herbs. I actually think this is a pretty good idea. 8 gets us another large grove. And I do think we're going to have to also build a makeshift post pretty soon here. I might want to leave room for a road on that side. Okay, and now that that's fixed, we can get at least one of these things back to full wood cutting, and yeah, just start chopping away at this area. So one thing we definitely need to pull on our next glade opening, or on our next reputation, if we can, is a farm design. So should I be opening us up to that one or that one? This one's closer to the main warehouse, I guess. It'll be a little bit better to work it. And it's going to take a minute to get us in there, so we may as well get started. All right. So we need to open one more glade We need to make a decision about this brick house. I gotta be honest, I don't feel like it's super valuable. Pottery is a pretty good container type, and I'm sure we'll have to make containers for the wine. So that might be a good enough reason. And it is a good source of metals. Yeah, we'll probably just rebuild it. The teardown value is not super great anyway. Alright, well, things to think about after the storm. And look at that, all the housing gets finished. Alright, I just cut open a little space here. Sell 4 fabric for 2. You know what? We'll hold off on that one for the moment. Now that this is over, we can go ahead and throw some people on that. Show me something easy to complete. Open 2 glades within 2.5 minutes of each other. The reward on that's actually very strong, I think. And we have enough amber coming from the trade route to open a small and a large. Aid for the lizard clans are really easy to do and has a strong reward, so we'll definitely take that. And like I said, we got to get our makeshift post up. Let me refocus some stuff here. I haven't looked at our merchant at all, but it's very difficult for me to believe that we have the resources necessary to take advantage of a merchant. Okay, and that's pushed us over 14. It has. So we can just do the simple and boring version of this thing with one of these and one of those. Cornerstones. 15 amber every time you accept a newcomer group from the Citadel, but you lose all stored amber upon choosing this. I believe that we have... Oh, the amber from the trade route came in already. That's right, it was a short enough trade route. It finished. I was gonna say I believe that if that route hasn't finished yet, we don't have any. Well, it would be disastrous for us to take this then. I do think this is actually pretty good for us, but we just can't take it right now. Global speed, global gathering speed up. Get more blight rot cysts. If you have certain other things to go with this, this is upside and also upside. We're not in that position at this moment. Every time you fully upgrade 5 frog houses, you will receive a random blueprint. So fully upgrade 5 frog houses, to be clear, is putting 10 boxes of building materials into them. We often go for 6. So it's certainly not horrible. And I do think Blightrot Pruner is pretty bad, actually. So we're going to take over Zealous Architects and maybe get to fire it once? Maybe. You have cool stuff. I just don't have trade value right now. Sorry. Yeah, not for any of this anyway. Oh, I gotta claim my rewards. I got lucky and we got a purple off of a minimum effort thing. Those are both potentially good. Discovering a glade during the storm lowers impatience. Sorry. Still definitely can't afford to do that. We're gonna take another one of these. If y'all could just get that done real fast. I would like very much to get additional... what do you call it? Very much to get some additional... words. Brain... Gathering building upgrades. Gathering building blueprint upgrades. So yeah, we wanna run it like right through here. So go ahead and cut those down. And then you should be working over here because you're gonna chop into this thing. But I'm gonna once again give myself an opportunity to get kind of lucky off of a treasure stag. We didn't get there. We did get a small encampment, however. So much fertile soil. Holy crow. So that's three glades. As soon as we get this thing fixed, that'll be another payout. And then I think we, definitely want to just chop into this thing. So we already cut some of the root in, right? Yeah, we cut in quite a bit. Hopefully we're just looking at like one tree here to pop this open. And we don't have any of the foods to bring you on board, sadly. Which isn't to say that it won't happen, but you're just gonna have to wait a sec. I'm gonna wait until we have more packs to sell that stuff off. And I'm gonna have to build a lizard house either way. We may as well just do this in the way where the lizard house covers everything. That's within... Okay, yes, only just. And I know we currently aren't working the makeshift post, but there's only so much I can do. You guys please open the fucking glade? Okay, there we go. Starting to get a little nervous. I maybe could have held that one, but obviously, I really do want to get more people in the settlement so that we can start making some moves. Okay, take these to 12-ish, right? Something like that. So large worm tongue nest, large clay node, bunch more fertile soil, lumber mill. Ooh, bunch of clay nodes. It's pretty good. 3 coal veins. Okay, so we have some stuff that we would like to find out already. I would love to pay for a funeral. We could rob the dead, but honestly, the stuff they have isn't even that good. And minus 12 to beaver resolve is a little harsh. If we're going to go for this, we're going to need salt, which we are currently gathering pretty quickly. Are we getting salt from the trees? Or why are we getting... Okay, yeah. Some amount of the trees are giving us salt. And then amber, which is... I mean, we know where the amber's coming from. Yeah, hopefully they'll get a couple of those done real quick and we'll be able to get some decent, what do you call it? Some decent trade routes running. Also need to get more housing. Okay, we are at tier 2 on this already, which is fantastic. You need to be moved over to here. Okay. And then let's have a look at this. Smokehouse and Scribe are both pretty bad, I think. It's definitely a thing where I would like to do a reroll. We can find a way to afford it. For the moment, everybody is working very, very hard on everything. Oh, and when I say on everything, of course, what I do not mean is food gathering. We are doing a lot of things. What we are not doing is gathering food because there are so many other things to do. So let's change that. Let's gather food. I'm going to take the incredibly bold stance here that we should gather food. I think we're probably going to end up collapsing the second woodcutter pretty soon. So we need 20 amber. I might rip one of these open real fast to pay for the funeral. The big downside here, of course, is that if we lower the number of woodcutters, then we're lowering the number of people who are gathering salt, which is going to make it somewhat difficult to get this done in time. But honestly, the decay consequence isn't really that bad. I will say we are also gathering food on this. The blue ponds are food ponds. So it's not like we're not getting it at all. Maybe I should just hold off. We don't need the amber right this second. We're already working on more trade packs, and those tools may very well end up being the solution to a glade event in the near future. Let's make sure we are gathering food. Yeah, and here we're just waiting for this stuff. All right, somebody do a run back real quick just so we can get the first glade event started. And honestly, like, bloodflower spawns might even be to our benefit. A couple of early bloodflower spawns, you know, sometimes it can cause a relatively small amount of starvation and then give you a bunch of loot. We've seen it happen before. Oh, there's so many resources, so many things to make. Oh, the small fishing hut needs to move to another pond. Okay, so we could sell this off for, that's not bad, right? Yeah, 16 amber for the stack of those. And then also, aid for the lizard clan is just raw packs. Okay, upgraded herbalist camp is cool. Not one of the ones we needed right this second, but it is a thing we often need. Some coats, some flowers, unlikely to be super useful. So this is going to start getting pretty expensive, right? For the next, the next thing. But that's all right. Can we send out another trade route? We could trade off our coal. I think I probably don't want to do that. We could trade off some of our scales. That I'm okay with. It's like a pretty small number of scales for not very much money in total. But this is how we will get the gold we need, or the amber we need for other events / opening up glades, you know. Alright, we're gathering food now. The big pull of fish was important. We had a lot of extra time out of that. Here, let's also chop down trees in this area. We have at least a couple more ponds that fishing hut's going to be able to access. Let's go ahead and... Well, I guess I want to wait until the housing is finished. Sorry. I want to make sure this gets done, and then we'll devote the next set of planks to rebuilding. That building or this building? The thing is, we probably don't need scrolls, but I might... Packs of trade goods at least have sale value. Although I guess that is also maybe an argument for salvage. But like just really, really efficient plank production is very good. Yeah, this should probably be a rebuild. Alright, so you just try to grab enough building materials for that. If I hit the packs of provisions right now, it's going to put 3 more lizards in my city. I think we probably want to wait until after the storm to cash that in. And in fact, we should definitely build the extra lizard houses, knowing that we're going to do it. Yeah, we end up needing a shit ton of clay. And then it's probably not a horrible idea to start thinking about this Explorer's Lodge. We can get our hearth upgraded to level 3 pretty quickly. I'm a little nervous about the Lizard Resolve with us at Hostility 3. I mean, obviously we're going to kick out some woodcutters, right? Let's pull it back to 2 at least. Okay, we might... This is pretty bad. They do have all their housing already, too. We should probably chill out on the coats for the... Well, the +8 from the coats is actually their entire current happiness, so maybe we shouldn't chill out on the coats. If we go aid for the Lizard Clan, we're going to lose half a point of impatience. We're going to gain 3 lizards who don't have housing, so that's going to blow up the housing benefits. Yeah, I think we don't want to do that now, even though it does give a flat +3 resolve to lizards, because I think the other penalties are too strong. How are we doing on salt? We're at 26 salt. Okay. The salt is coming along. Let's move you to position where the tree cutting's coming down a little bit faster. But aside from that, I think we're mostly good here. So if we take the one on the left, this lizard's already accounted for with the lizards from the other thing. We are going to need an extra beaver house, which is a nightmare. Those holy hell beaver houses are expensive. This is why we want to up our plank efficiency, right? Yeah, it is really helpful how slow the lizards and the frogs drop resolve. Alright, give this a second. I'm going to try to do this without sacrificing. But obviously, there's only so much one can do. And the fact is, we could afford to burn wood for a little while. Yeah, maybe that's going to be the best way of holding this down. What is the trade route that's available to us right now? Just selling fabric at a bad price. I mean, actually, that's not a bad price. You know what? Go ahead and do that, actually. We just built all the lizard houses that were on the queue, so we may as well. And I think it's going to be time. Let's kick off 2 woodcutters and put 1 stack of log sacrifice on here. Get the frogs back positive. And I think that should be sufficient to carry us through to the end of the storm. I don't think we need to bleed any more people. There's no penalty to having this running, so I guess we should leave. We should have this running. Like they should be running out there what resources we have. We'll get our 15 amber here in a second. And obviously I do want to put together the building materials here, but that's not a right this second while we're still struggling to build our housing type problem. Okay, so with that, before we press any other buttons, let's select our orders. We don't currently have the clan hall. This is probably pretty safe to assume we'll do. And then open or send caches to get, in this situation, probably like the optimally valuable training gear delivery line, and also export specialization is so fucking good here. Oh, I kind of wish I hadn't sold all of the training gear that we got. So this is open or send. We don't have access to stone. Let me look at the map here real quick. We can't buy stone from you. We could buy tools. So I have 21 tools. Do we have any small caches? No, we have a medium here and a medium here. So we only see 2 caches right now. Unfortunately, I think we just can't take that order. That is really a shame, because delivery line right now would be spectacular. It would be actually incredibly good. What we're gonna do instead is probably just take profitable trade, which is less exciting, but it gets things done. Then we're gonna take our thing here. Gain 1 frog villager for every 2 house upgrades is kind of something, kind of. I think I'm just taking fiber delivery line. The thing is, like, I want lots of people. I'm always very, like, population forward. But also, I do want to be able to control when I'm getting population. Alright, so that's a bunch of people in. I was kind of hoping we were going to pick up a, what do you call it? I was kind of hoping we were going to pick up a cornerstone that was going to give us a reward for bringing in all those people at once. No such luck. So we have 6 amber right now. This is not quite going to get us to reroll town. We can afford to sell some of this stuff off. Trade route's worth at least 9 is what we're looking for. Am I willing to sell 2 parts for? Yeah, I think so. I think I am willing to make that move as soon as we have more things, obviously. Also, this happens, which is cool in its own way. So we have a beaver house. We need another lizard house. We really are, like, we're really moving fast on population here, like way faster than I was expecting, and I'm actually really nervous about whether or not we're going to be able to handle it. I think these are terrible. Let's take a reroll. guild house is pretty good. We need luxury, or we don't need luxury. I'd like luxury. And I do think that the guild's welfare is probably the best passive effect. Upgraded Trapper's Camp is immediately relevant. We're going to have to dismantle the second woodcutter's camp for parts, which is fine. We knew that was coming. That leaves us with exactly enough parts to make that happen. Okay. Then are we buying anything from Sahilda is the question. We have a little bit of money to work with here. We have some algae we could sell. I wouldn't mind just buying a large stack of planks, but I think at the moment we are kind of I definitely want to be holding on to amber because we need it for rerolls. So selling from our other goods is what we're really looking at here. You know what? We can make this work. We have plenty of sources of stuff to make cloth with. Also, I don't need 8 wildfire essence. I don't know how much wildfire essence we do need, but I know it isn't 8. So what if we did this? I feel pretty comfortable about that. And that is going to make some things happen a lot more smoothly. Okay, yep, we didn't get the thing done in time. That's absolutely fine. So, keep in mind, working effects. These are going to leach food out of the settlement while we're working them, but when they're finished, they're going to put food back into the settlement. So, you know, that's nice of them eventually. Also, other stuff. And that'll be the only time those fire. Do I have 3 people in my... Nope, okay, let's make sure we get you dressed all the way back up. And then... What are we cutting away? At some point we want to reveal this. I still desperately need... we're going to be able to build so many farms the second we hit a farm blueprint. And it's really just annoying that it hasn't happened yet. I assume... What are we waiting on there? Okay, no, you're working on it. Okay, there's all the new housing in place. Let's build... So I do like the Explorer's Lodge first, probably. The thing about the guild house is that the guild welfare takes a little bit to become good. Explorer's Lodge, well... Gosh, that's a lot of wood, too. We bought all those planks and we're immediately through them. Let me finish building this first. And then we'll use people working in there to produce the stuff. Yeah, we're going to be pretty much perpetually low on food for a while here. Have we still not generated enough salt? Somehow we have not. Well, that's a problem. Eventually this is going to be... We are going to get another flow of blood flowers. That's really annoying. Maybe I could have bought salt from Sahilda. Oh, you guys aren't doing anything. What am I doing? Looked right at that 3 or 4 times. This is definitely gather food. Okay, this is... Let's get a couple of woodcutters over here. Yeah, that's a much more efficient exchange rate, at least. Y'all stop making planks. Return all that wood. Are there particular trees? No, it looks like everything is kelp wood. It's just a matter of luck, really. Well, that's annoying, but it's not. Oh, right. Cysts. We do want to eventually have people die, and corruption is almost certainly the way that's going to happen. We are not in a position to make it work that way just yet. All right, so our herbalist camp could be gathering. We're short parts because we did spend some in that early thing. I might actually disable this for a moment. We'll use those parts to build the blight post because we don't really have a good position for that thing at the moment. And then we're trying to get trade goods that are worth at least, or trade routes that are worth at least 9 gold or 9 amber each, which we can make occur. And then keep in mind, obviously, we're also generating trade for this, and also for our guild hall thing, our luxury building. I don't think I want to sell any of that stuff though. I'm debating whether I want to lose a point of impatience over this. Oh, well, that's right. We'll only lose half a point, right? So it won't actually threshold us at all. But the bonus to the rate of clay extraction, you know, it is of more than 0 value. So basically, I think what's happening right now is we're having bad luck with the the rate of salt gathering from the trees. We got a lot pretty quickly, and then it really slowed down. We need to make so much fucking... Oh my god. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe we needed to keep that second woodcutter's lodge around for longer. This third storm is looking scary. Those are almost done, but then we're gonna have to just deal with more. Okay. Yeah, I can't really commit to a huge number of planks right now because we need to make so much fire. And somehow Beaver Resolve is, yeah, the food, right? That'll do it. That'll do it. All of the food being leached out of the environment constantly. All right, well, we'll have a second with the blood flowers finished before we start working the next set of blood flowers, at the very least. Yeah, none of this stuff has changed, right? Season is still the same. Well, friends, I gotta tell you, I'm feeling a little nervous here. A lot comes down to how quickly we get this salt. And it looks like the answer is not very quickly. Okay, so everybody's mad. We do not have any resources to sacrifice. That's for damn sure. And we're in a position where even cutting all 3 of our woodcutters doesn't bring us down a hostility level. So we're going to lose some people first. Then we can try that. Fortunately, we're not so miserable. Once we do start cutting people, I think it's going to help a lot. This we should probably devote extra bodies to, actually, now that I'm looking at it. We only need 2 more. One of them's in the thing already. Yeah, it seems like corruption's going to be under control at least. See if we can delay this a little bit. Wow, no. No, we cannot. Okay, there it is. But the moment it's like, gosh, we desperately need 1 more, all of a sudden you get 2 at once. Okay, so unfavor you. If we cut all 3, okay, that gets us to positives, and we have enough sea marrow coming in that we're not likely to run out of stuff to burn. This is going to start running, but unfortunately we are going to get blood flower spawns again. Actually, sorry, this is not going to run if we don't get the stuff out of it. Hey, y'all, go get that salt. There we go. Okay, so that's finally happening. That took some effort. It was more effort than I thought it was going to be, that's for damn sure. I do think we will probably want to wait until the storm is over to start working the flowers. Oof, these are terrible trade routes. Because they don't have their effect until you are working them. So we're gonna make sure everybody's well fed through the storm. But I guess we're already coming to the end of that. Let's... Okay. Let's get those done. And also, probably go ahead and unequip all of these people. Put them back to work on this stuff. Everybody's gonna complain, but Storm's, you know, seconds from being over. It'll be fine. Do we want to bring on more newcomers right now? I'm actually not sure. So we can gain 1 lizard and 1 beaver without having to gain any housing at all. Yeah. The 3rd person in either of these packs is going to necessitate a build. So I guess the question is mostly just like, which 3rd person do we want? And I guess... this 3rd person. And I'm gonna turn on packs of building materials. We're gonna start making some of these, and that's how we're gonna deal with the frog. Oh, all right. Good luck, everybody. No suitable trees near this woodcutter's camp. That's true. I do need to put that somewhere else. All right. Still some wood cutting to do down here. Hello. Jorg has arrived with the blueprint for the ranch at an extremely high price. He saw how good it was last time. He thinks we're gonna pay. He thinks we're suckers. I think we are not going to pay. Once again, try to get the clan hall. I mean, this is gonna happen, right? Standing level 2 with 3 different settlements is absolutely gonna happen. And every villager with their need for religion fulfilled decreases hostility. That's nothing. Yeah, I guess gain meat and grain for each completed dangerous or forbidden glade event. Cloned blood flowers do not count. Sad. They have to do stuff like that to wreck our good time. Obviously, we'll be able to deal with them shortly. Part of what we're doing here is like just kind of waiting on the blood flowers. But now that we've got all that stuff kind of locked down, let's go ahead and build our guild house. Put it right here at the edge of the thing. So we got 4 minutes of food being kind of rough. We're going to get a little bit of happiness there. And yeah, we're like really desperate for farm blueprints. We're going to have to figure out a way to get some of this stuff going, which is to say field kitchen probably. Probably. Oh yeah, this, just prefer those, and then those, and then planks are last. Planks if you can't figure out anything else to make the building materials out of. We'll start getting our, building material stuff into the houses. When we finish this thing, we're going to get reinforced saw blades. I might, you know what, we'll deliver this first, and then we'll start putting the upgrades in the houses. All right, the small fishing hut has one more pond left to pull from. And then we can reclaim those parts for something else. We're going to need to hack open a bunch more glades, obviously. But we've got ourselves now in a position where we have constant amber income, so that's actually like doable. If we deliver, of course we don't quite have 18 of those to deliver. We can make 9 on this. Okay. So those are the 2 trade routes that'll finish profitable trade for us. They will also push us over the top of trade and industry, but we still haven't found any rainwater geysers. So we might have to set up actual rainwater collection for the first time in a considerable amount of time. Man. Imagine how much better things are going to get when we can fucking farm. It's going to be so beautiful. So we're going to get 20 more. We'll have 42 training gear, which is enough to complete many kinds of events. We'll have a bunch of wine, which is enough to drink a bunch of wine. And then other stuff that we can use for other stuff. And you know, honestly, we've been doing an okay job holding on to some food. The whole time we've been low on food, but nobody's suffering starvation penalties very badly. Okay. So all that stuff is clear now. And I think with that, with us sort of like through the rough part of it, that is probably where we ought to stop for today. I know it feels like we're just about to start kicking things into gear. But I feel like that usually is where we where we stop for the first day, right? So we're almost at a single point of global resolve gain from this, just as we're thinking about putting people in it. We are almost at a point of global resolve gain from this, right? Because we have 2 different settlements at level 1. Oh no, sorry, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm reading this very wrong. That says 1. We got 1. So yeah, we're working on that, and then with this is too damn cold. Okay, so that's going up to level 1 as well. So it'll be a 4th level, but we're not getting particularly close to anybody being at level 2 for good friends just yet. This is definitely not a 3-person job. We can probably cut back on this one a little bit now that we've dealt with that initial rush. Once this finishes, obviously we need to push the Ancient Hearth to level 3. But yeah, that's a concern for next time. Overall, I think we've got our feet under us here. The only really important thing is to remember to kill those 10 villagers. I think we can wrap this up before the end of year 8. But I think there's decent to good odds that I'm going to get to late year 7 and go, oh no. So anyway, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you return, when you come back next time, we will be, fingers crossed, successfully wrapping up our Prestige 19 game, and we will finally be very close to conquering this thing. and we'll see you then.